we can move on to some NFL stuff because it was a huge, huge week in the NFL. We could start with Aaron Rodgers re-signed with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
And he got paid 4 years, $200 million.
$50 million
a year for 4 years.
And he's like 40. He's 40, right?
And they had their replacement in place, and they're not using him.
Yeah. Which goes to show why did you draft Jordan Love? So the Vikings can't get him?
Yeah. It must have been.
I don't really get that. They could have used that to get a legitimate second option to support Davante Adams. So I really don't understand that.
Yeah.
But
they were able to bring back Davante Adams with a franchise tag, but it just seems like they don't really have a direction right now. But I guess re-signing the 2-time reigning MVP is somewhat of a direction. But when you just drafted his replacement plan 2 years ago, do you trade him now? Do you just let him back up Aaron Rodgers for 4 more years or 3 more years?
He's gonna be entering his prime years by toward the end of that contract. So
or what would be his prime years? He's probably going to be delayed a little bit.
Yeah, no, it goes to show.
Not playing.
What are they doing with Jordan Love? Just go let him do something else. Go to a different team. Go to the Dolphins for all I care. Trade him.
Yeah.
Free Jordan Love.
Honestly, they could probably get something pretty good for him too.
Yeah. I know he hasn't looked that good in maybe the 2-game sample size that he's been in, but
then again, it's a 2-game sample size. And,
exactly.
You never know. So, yeah, but I think the Packers, they re-signed their star quarterback. Aaron Rodgers got paid. Although there was reports today that he actually hasn't signed the contract, but the deal is in place.
There's also reports that Davante Adams might not play under the franchise tag.
Right.
So they just lost Zadarius Smith.
Right. So the Packers are in an interesting spot. But another NFC team that made a big move with an AFC team was the Broncos and Seahawks for Russell Wilson. The Broncos got Russell Wilson. Seahawks got Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a 5th in the deal. So they got a lot back for an aging Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson's still very good, but at the same time, he's getting up there in age. I think the big thing here is the Seahawks definitely made up for the deal they made with the Jets, where they gave up a lot of picks because they got a lot of picks back. But it's a new era with the Seahawks because they also cut Bobby Wagner.
They're tearing it down. Which they should do.
Yeah, they should.
Pete Carroll is probably retiring soon.
Or getting fired soon.
Or getting fired. Either one. Whichever comes first. So I think it was the right move, and they got a good amount back.
They did.
Drew Lock, he hasn't been good, but he's still young. No offense.
He needs an opportunity, and he's going to get one probably.
Exactly. And they still have Lockett and Metcalf, which So he's in an okay situation, I'd say.
Yeah. I think the NFC, the AFC and NFC West are by far the 2 best divisions in football right now. The only one really close is the AFC North. But when you look at that, both of those divisions have 3 teams, I'd say, that you could see in the Super Bowl, and it wouldn't be a big surprise.
Yeah.
With the 49ers,
so
Rams, Cardinals,
even the Cardinals.
Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs. all 6 of those teams, with the exception of the Seahawks and the Raiders, I could honestly see in the Super Bowl next year.
I can agree, and I wouldn't be surprised at any 6 of those teams. And it's crazy to think that they're in the same division. And we said this before, the Broncos are just a quarterback away, and
they got their quarterback.
They got the quarterback. Russell Wilson is definitely aging, but he's in a better situation.
But when he was healthy,
I'd say he's a better situation than he was last year.
And I think, a lot of people have been saying that Pete Carroll's been holding him back. So now you're going to see if Pete Carroll's really been holding him back.
Yeah, so we've seen some of the let Russ cook chants for in fantasy football. So
he's going to get it now.
We'll see. Russ is definitely going to cook. He's got the talented, skilled positions.
And it'll be interesting what they do with the Melvin Gordon situation.
Yeah,
Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams situation. And
because
it
they
seems
both
like they
looked
want to
pretty
bring.
good.
Yeah, it seems like they want to bring Melvin Gordon back, but maybe you don't, because you see that Russell Wilson on a run heavy team isn't really that great. You got to let him throw the ball around, spread it around to
Exactly.
Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick.
Let him cook.
So yeah,
And
I think
they still got a pretty damn good defense,
yeah, they
despite
do.
firing Vic Fangio, and also Von Miller. He was a little
Might
teaser.
come back.
He very well might come back, and if
Yeah.
he does, then boy, the Broncos look really scary.
And you still have Patrick Surtain. They had a bunch of injuries at linebacker that are going to come back. So I think they're going to have a really solid defense and a really good team. And they just signed Aaron Rodgers, offensive coordinator, as their head coach. So they didn't get Aaron Rodgers, but they got
the coordinator,
close replacement.
So
to Aaron Rodgers.
Very solid hiring. Very solid. So.
And then another deal for a quarterback that went down was Carson Wentz to Washington, and it kind of showed how desperate Washington was with that deal, because I don't think Carson Wentz makes them a great team.
It doesn't. I don't even think it makes them like a playoff, like a playoff
they're
team.
still not. Yeah, they're still not a playoff team, and I also don't see a winner of the deal yet, because I don't think the Colts got really that much back.
They got like a third and fourth round pick?
Yeah, for a guy that they gave up, I think a first, maybe 2 firsts for. So
yeah,
you're gonna have to wait and see what their plan is at quarterback. There's definitely some guys they can go get though. Marcus Mariota or Deshaun Watson or some of these other guys. And Mitch Trubisky just signed a deal today, so they can't get him. But there's definitely some guys that they can go out and get. I think will be pretty solid for them.
And they were all right, and that was with Carson Wentz at quarterback. They were like a fringe playoff team. They just it's another one of those teams that just they need a quarterback, and once they get it, they'll be very, very good.
You need a quarterback, you need some weapons on the outside, and I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, and with the Commanders, it doesn't really matter. Sure, it's an upgrade over Taylor Heineke, but what's that really saying? I don't really care too much about.
Yeah, neither do I. But a bigger deal that took place was Amari Cooper to the Browns. The Browns got their Odell Beckham replacement, and the Cowboys are saving some money. But this is Baker Mayfield's last chance. If he can't succeed with Amari Cooper, I know they just released Jarvis Landry today. So it's you're kind of replacing Landry with Cooper, but I think it's Baker Mayfield's last chance to prove himself.
Yeah, and ever since his rookie year, it's just been downhill ever since. I'm honestly kind of shocked that the Cowboys were just trying to cut salary and they just trade one of their best offensive weapons like that.
Yeah, and they talked about it for weeks that they were looking to move on from him, but it's still kind of surprising.
Yeah, exactly. Because I thought that Cooper and Prescott, they had a pretty good connection.
Yeah, definitely.
You would see some games where you saw week 1 against the Bucs going for 150 yards. So I don't really get why they traded him away, but whatever. It's good for the Browns, but even though they lost Landry, but it still doesn't solve the quarterback problem.
No.
You saw Odell leave and go to LA. He was
much better.
Great. He was great. Maybe Amari Cooper, he's a little bit of a different player, more of a route runner, I guess, than a speedster that Odell is, I guess. But hey, we'll see.
Yeah. And also Michael Gallup got paid, I believe, by the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So even with the torn ACL, but CeeDee Lamb's gonna have a lot of weight in his shoulders. Maybe they go try to get another guy, because Cedric Wilson also, I think, just left.
Yeah, but now that I'm thinking about it, they had the wide receiver depth,
they did.
Michael Gallup is sneaky good.
He's very good. I think he's gonna excel as a wide receiver too. He just has to get healthy.
Yeah, actually, in in 2019 when Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup played the same amount of games, Gallup, both of them finished with 1,100 receiving yards. So like that just goes to show they got the talent. And Cedric Wilson, he's definitely not like a bum by any means. He just hasn't gotten the chance. So now that I think about it, I can kind of see a little bit just because they had some to lose.
Yeah,
even though
they
I don't
did.
think Cooper would have been my personal pick to go.
Yeah, no, I think Gallup would have been the guy to go, but they're
personally would have let him walk.
They're definitely in salary issues right now with Zeke's huge contract and Dak Prescott's major contract. And they're gonna have to probably re-sign Trayvon Diggs at some point. They're gonna end up overpaying him. And then you still have DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. You're gonna have to pay him at some point. So I see why they did it to save some salary space, but it definitely makes them worse in the short term, I think.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah. And then honestly, the biggest news in football this week, I'd say, came yesterday with Tom Brady announcing on Twitter that he's coming back.
He didn't even last a month.
Yeah, after a little bit of retirement, he realized he would not want to retire. So I can't say I'm surprised about it. You had heard reports of it. You heard reports of him coming back to a different team, but it seems like going back to Tampa Bay. But I will say Tampa Bay definitely has some question marks on their roster.
I mean, one of their offensive linemen, just one of their best offensive linemen, just retired.
Yeah,
and he's not coming back. Like that's for sure.
Yeah, and he's only 27. Tom Brady's like 45. So
yeah, it's yet to see. He's probably gonna regress. Let's be real. But yeah, I mean, I get it. Like as a Tampa Bay fan, I'm like nice. But like also another part of me is like, just stay in retirement. Like,
yeah.
Why do you have to go through someone leaking that you're gonna retire? And there's just this whole media circus about it. And then you actually retire, but now you're gonna unretire. Like, I think it was a little stupid, but like,
yeah.
But hey, it's great. As a Tampa Bay fan,
it's good for football.
I'm welcoming you with open arms again.
Yeah, it's good for football. I mean, they're still the best team in their division, unless the Saints make a move for
the
quarterback.
NFC South is just very weak.
Yeah, it's a brutal division. I mean, I know there was rumors that Deshaun Watson was meeting with the Saints today and the Panthers, but I mean, even if the Panthers get Deshaun Watson, they're still not better than the Bucs. And I mean, if the Saints get Deshaun Watson, they can give the Bucs a run for their money. But as of now, the Bucs are definitely the best team in that division.
Yeah, it's not even close at all.
Yeah, it's not.